You might be surprised to know that just 20 years ago, J.K. Rowling, who is a British author, struggled to feed herself and her daughter. She's now known as a self-made billionaire and philanthropist. You don't have to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth to achieve great things in life, though it certainly helps. Still, many of today's billionaires had very humble beginnings. Growing up poor didn't stop these CEOs, celebrities, and business experts from reaching the pinnacle of success, and it shouldn't stop you either. Whether you're in need of some inspiration to start your own business, or you want to learn how to become a billionaire, then wait till the end to find out. So here are 10 famous billionaires who grew up poor, and how they made it to the top. Number 1. Oprah Winfrey. Family wealth isn't the secret to this billionaire and media maven's unparalleled success. Now worth an estimated $2.6 billion, according to Forbes, Oprah Winfrey was born to a teenage single mother in Mississippi. In an interview with Barbara Walters, she talked about not having running water or electricity growing up. By focusing on school, participating in beauty pageants, and then working at a radio station, Winfrey was able to enter the media world. She got her big break in television as a host for the local Baltimore talk show, People Are Talking. Later came The Oprah Winfrey Show, which entered national syndication in 1986. In a 2001 taping of The Oprah Winfrey Show, Winfrey shared some tips on making the shift to a wealth mindset. The whole idea, I think, of having wealth is not letting wealth use you, but you use it, she said. Being a person who has come from an outhouse and a very poor circumstances, I can assure you that the more money you get, it really doesn't change you, unless you are the kind of person who is defined by money. Number 2. Howard Schultz. Former Starbucks chairman and CEO Howard Schultz helped Starbucks become the company it is today. However, this successful businessman who boasts a net worth of $4.3 billion wasn't born into wealth. In an interview with Mukund Rajan of the Group Executive Council, Schultz discussed his childhood and what it was like growing up with less. When I was 7 years old, I experienced something that deeply affected me that I carry with me every single day, he said. And that is the scar and the shame of being a poor kid living in government-subsidized housing. Schultz said his father became a broken man after working in many dead-end jobs that offered neither money nor respect. But this hardship seemed to motivate Schultz to become the success he is today. I never dreamed I would be in a position one day to be part of a company where I would have authority, let alone build a company, said Schultz. What I've tried to do is to build the kind of company that my father never got a chance to work for. Number 3. Ralph Lauren. Known for its polo shirts and high-end ties, the Ralph Lauren fashion brand is easily recognizable. But did you know that there was a time when the iconic fashion designer couldn't even afford clothes? As a kid, I was always into clothes, but I didn't have the money to buy them, Lauren told fellow billionaire Oprah Winfrey in a 2002 interview. When I'd get my brother's hand-me-downs, there was an energy in me that made me say, I want to get my own things, to make my own statement. Somewhere along the line, that energy, coupled with my exposure through movies to a world I hadn't known, turned into something. That something is now a world-famous fashion brand and a personal net worth of $6.4 billion. Number 4. Larry Ellison. Oracle founder and former CEO Larry Ellison was born in New York City, but grew up in a lower middle-class community on the south side of Chicago. I'll never complain again about living in a bad neighborhood. After moving from the Lower East Side of Manhattan to still worse neighborhoods on the south side of Chicago, said Ellison in an interview. After my 9th month, I kept my mouth shut about the neighborhood. A 1997 Vanity Fair profile on Ellison described his childhood home as a cramped walk-up apartment, according to the article. Ellison was raised by his great-aunt and great-uncle, who was once successful in real estate, but lost everything in the Depression. Although he came from modest beginnings, Ellison is now a multimillionaire worth $86.3 billion. Everyone who works hard and maybe a little cleverly has the opportunity to make almost everything possible, said Ellison. That's the American dream, that anything here is possible.
And that's the American dream, that anything here is possible.
Number 5. Ken Langone. Self-made billionaire businessman and investor Kenneth Langone, who helped create Home Depot, had humble beginnings. In a 2013 interview with One Wire posted on Business Insider, Langone said he had a charmed life as a child, but not because of his material possessions. In fact, his mother was a cafeteria worker. Still, Langone enjoyed unconditional love, which later helped him get over his failures and not let them bring him down. When you're in the risk-taking business at the level that I am, not everything you're going to do is going to work, he said. Where you really lose is when it doesn't work and you start being abusive to yourself in terms of your qualities and your abilities. Today, Langone has a net worth of $5 billion according to Forbes, and he's proud of the fact, he said in an interview for Street Smart on Bloomberg. Number 6. Sheldon Adelson. He's the chairman and CEO of Las Vegas Sands, the largest casino company in America, but Sheldon Adelson had to earn his $29.8 billion fortune the old-fashioned way. Born to Eastern European Jewish immigrants, he grew up in a tough neighborhood of Boston, sharing a one-room tenement with his parents and 3 siblings. In a 2010 Nightline interview, Adelson explained how his rough upbringing helped him become a shrewd businessman. "My parents were poor," he said. "When they died in 1985, 11 days apart, they didn't have as much as $100 in the bank. Their whole life, they gave everything to their children. So I'm talking not from a white shoe background or from a privileged background. I'm talking as somebody who wore his skin down on his fingers trying to climb the ladder of success." To honor his heritage, he has donated more than $50 million to Jewish schools in the Las Vegas and Boston areas, and another $50 million to the Yad Vashem World Holocaust Remembrance Center, according to the New York Times. Number 7. Alan Gerry. While he has a net worth of $1.5 billion today, Alan Gerry grew up in Liberty, New York during the Depression. A frozen food distributor, Gerry's father often struggled to feed the family on his salary. Gerry later dropped out of high school to serve in the Marines during World War II. He used his GI Bill benefits to become trained in television repair, and in 1956 he invested $1,500 to start a cable company in his hometown. Decades later, his business evolved into 64 cable systems in 18 states. He sold the company to Time Warner in 1996 for a reported $2.7 billion, including $900 million in personal profit. Gerry used the money to start his venture capital fund, Granite Associates, and has continued to give back to the community where he was raised, including building the Bethel Woods Center for the Arts. "You grow up in a country and see that now so much has evaporated around you," said Gerry in a 2011 interview with the Times Herald Record. "So you try to keep your eyes open and see what needs help." Number 8. John Paul DeJoria. Founding high-end tequila company Patron Spirits Company and hair care company Paul Mitchell Systems, turned John Paul DeJoria into a mogul with a net worth of $2.7 billion. In a 2011 interview with Forbes, DeJoria, who was once in foster care, discussed growing up poor in the Echo Park neighborhood of Los Angeles. "We didn't know what we were really going through tough times because everybody was going through the same thing," he said. "I remember once in junior high, on a Friday, my mom came home from work and said to my brother and I, 'You know, between us, we only have 27 cents, but we have food in the refrigerator. We have our little garden out back and we're happy, so we're rich.'" A true rags to riches story, he was homeless twice before joining forces with Paul Mitchell in 1980 to create the billion-dollar hair care brand. He now uses his fortune to give back and was even named Variety's 2017 Philanthropist of the Year. Number 9. Harold Hamm. The youngest of 13 kids, Harold Hamm was raised by Oklahoma sharecroppers, who put him to work picking cotton barefoot as a child. The founder, chairman, and CEO of oil company Continental Resources now has a net worth of $6.1 billion. But at age 16, he had to take a job at a gas station to support his loved ones. Despite his family's financial struggles, in a 2014 interview with Forbes, Hamm revealed that he drew inspiration from fellow Enid, Oklahoma residents. One was a local potter who spoke to Hamm and his classmates at a school assembly. "He had this lump of clay that he was slapping like a baby," Hamm said. "It was clear that he did well because that was his passion, his art, and the message that was all of us could do well if we followed our passion in life." Number 10. J.K. Rowling. In a 2013 interview with London-based Daily Mail, J.K. Rowling shared her struggles as a single parent, before the Harry Potter books turned her into the world's highest-paid author. "I remember 20 years ago not eating so my daughter would eat," she said. "I remember nights when there was literally no money. Those days are long past," as the author earned $95 million between June 2016 and June 2017, according to Forbes. Now, philanthropist Rowling enjoys giving back so much that an estimated $160 million in charitable giving contributed to her fall from billionaire status in 2012. Today, Rowling's fortune is back up to $1 billion according to the Celebrity Net Worth. Well, we hope you get inspired from these stories, and all the best to all of you who are watching our video to the end, and best wishes. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you're going to love to watch our video on our channel. Make sure to subscribe to us if you affirm to be a billionaire in the future, and never miss our videos. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Till then, stay tuned, billionaire.